Warning, spoilies ahead.
I feel like we should hopefully be able to get back up to a proper room once we become, in their eyes, a legitimate group, which I don't know why they don't think so. Podcasters Anonymous is a really good thing. So if you are a podcaster, if you're suffering from people not taking you seriously, people not wanting to listen to what you have to say, come on down to the basement of the recreation center. We'll be waiting for you.
Yeah. No judgment here.
No judgment.
We've been podcasters for what, a year now? A little over a year?
A little over a year, and we welcome anybody.
And let me tell you, it can get rough.
It really can.
It can get rough. There's a lot of pressure.
There's a lot of podcasts out there, and you want to be heard. You want to be the best, so we all do.
Yeah.
So come on down to the old rec center, to the basement where they keep the grease and the poop water, and we'll be here for you. Podcast Anonymous. Hi, welcome to Two Guys, One Film. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Dane. And this episode, we watched the 2006 movie, Eragon. It's a movie that I decided to give a second chance because the first time I saw it, hated it.
Not a big fan. I know I had never seen this before today.
I didn't remember a whole lot of it. But we'll get into like all that, I guess, in a little bit here. It came out December 15th, 2006. I don't know why I thought I saw this in the theater during the summer. Maybe not. The director was Stefan Fangmeyer. Sorry. Producers John Davis, Wick Godfrey, and Roger Barton.
John Davis, like from Garfield?
Yes.
Dude,
the exact dude. That's why this movie was so... I mean, you could really feel the Garfield influence.
You really could, yeah.
When you watched it. Had an okay cast. Well, two of the people I enjoy.
It had two good cast members. I'll give it that.
Okay, so yes.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons and John Malkovich.
Let's...
All right, we'll just... Okay, so...
Let's go for it, yeah.
The... synopsis, this random kid, or okay, well, they give you a quick thing. There's dragon riders. These people there were, and this was a big thing apparently in this world. I can't remember what the place is called.
There's like too many names dropped in the first fucking 2 minutes.
So many, and they're big names. Like they're
all made up, like a Gargamoth and Gilgamesh and Krovkos.
That was the first thing that I wrote down. That was first note. I'm like, this sounds like a movie or like just gibberish that you and me would make up, like in the land of Kajillion, and then fucking Gilgamorigan will come and he rises from the volcano of
and the prince promised Golf Gonsko is going to rise from the Pilgans and upheave the king Vladimir.
And
it's just so bad.
And it's just there's a lot of stuff to remember right at the beginning. But basically what it is these dragon riders, they had a big war. There used to be a bunch from them. They had a big war. They got jealous of each other because they wanted to be in power. So they all fought. A bunch of them died. One guy happened to be like the traitor of them all, kind of, and ended up killing them all. And then he became king.
Somehow, because he had the only dragon, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they're pretty powerful. So I guess if you have a dragon, and so I guess we're introduced in the beginning, people running through the forest. You're like, what's going on here?
She has his stone. I'm nothing without my stone. Go get it.
I know. And he's like, don't prolong my suffering.
Like, Malkovich and Jeremy Irons gave it their fucking all because they're professionals. They always will be. Those guys are just fucking good. Like, regardless of the material, regardless of how shit the thing they're in is, they give it their all. And that's why I love these men. They're like professionals. Because like even though it's a cheap children's movie, Malkovich is of course hamming it up like he
Yeah.
always is, and that's what was so
And
great
it
about.
was
And he has
great.
like he's in the movie like 3 times.
Yeah, and it sucked because I really wanted more Malkovich. And I remembered after I saw it, and like I'm like, man, when does he come back? I remember sitting in the theater thinking the same thing. I'm like, there needs to be more Malkovich in this because
Yeah,
I'm losing interest.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they're running through the forest. That princess, so and so, giant name lady.
He's got that big jelly bean that
Yeah,
is his stone.
and
The thing that
okay,
we're just one real quick.
Go ahead,
The thing that bothered me was like, there's the introduction, the exposition, and then like the title cards are coming up,
Mhm.
and the main title for the movie is like this big on the screen. It's like Eragon, and I'm like, it should be fucking
Yeah.
massive in this cool thing. It was just like Eragon. I'm like, so that's the
Yeah.
lackluster. That's the theme of this movie, folks.
Yes, it sucks because there's lots of. I feel like there's a lot of takeoff points, and then they just are like, nah.
To me, like I got whiplash from how fast this movie was going, and like how suddenly I was in another scene. I was just
But
like,
yeah,
what the
yeah, the transitions
what the fuck?
are
Like suddenly, like what is going on? And then like it seems like we're like 2 weeks later, but it's later in the fucking day. This all takes place in the span of like 2 days or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
And then suddenly more story plots happening. I'm just like, this is too much.
Yeah. And well, yeah, okay. So the egg. And then she's
Yeah.
like, then there's some magic where I did like that fire. I was like, okay, it looks like real fire. It doesn't look like they used some fake ass fire. That was kind of
Yeah.
cool. Like it seems like some of and I will like obviously the dragon is CG, but
It's not bad though.
what I did appreciate and what I hated about movies about like times like this is they would show so much of a CG person getting whipped around, and I hate the way it looks because it just
Yeah.
it looks so unnatural. And they didn't
You
show
know
a lot
it,
of
yeah.
they didn't show a lot of him. And I
Which
was
is
happy
smart,
about
yeah.
that, And when they did, it was close-ups of his face and like him real close to the dragon, so
Yeah.
they could use like props while he was like,
Yeah.
which to me is a lot. I don't give a shit about watching him fakely flopping around in the
Yeah.
sky. Like
That was always my problem with like the first Harry Potter when he's like on the broom.
Yes.
And he's like getting whipped around and it's like this weird looking like CG Daniel Radcliffe. I'm like, this just doesn't look right.
Right. It would have been way cooler if they would have CG'd the background and made a fake broom that was like stuck to something and like tried to shake him off of it. It would have looked way better. Anyway, now we're talking about Harry Potter. This is not Harry Potter.
Whole bag.
Why
didn't she carry it on her chest?
I know, and it seems like
she keeps having it on her back, and she's like,
and it
it's
looks like
loosely in that bag.
You should have the whole time.
Yeah, you should have carried it here and been a lot better. Like you're not gonna drop it out the back and constantly be like, oh shit, is it gonna fall? Like just hold it on your chest.
Also, before
it
cracks, it sounds like an empty propane tank.
Like, and also like if she had the ability to just teleport it, why the fuck did you not do that to begin with?
Right?
Why weren't you just in the castle and go, whoop? Okay, we don't have to run away anymore. Like
I don't know, maybe she thought she was gonna escape and not get tortured by the scary shade dude.
Yeah.
Who just like progressively through the movie looks even like scarier, like his mouth.
Yeah, and he's got like mouth sores and his face is all pale. Like, I'm like, where'd that happen?
Like he just keeps getting progressively creepier.
Yeah. But yeah, she teleports the egg, and it lands to Eragon, who was hunting deer in the mid-morning or early morning.
Is it morning? It seems very like
it seems very dark. Like
yeah, because like when they're chasing her, it seems like it's nighttime.
Yeah, like are they? I mean,
like are they in different part of the world? Or
I don't think so. They didn't seem to be that far apart from each other. But
I know, and I really
it's just this movie goes 1,000 miles an hour, and it's like instantly like this. And I'm just like, it's hard to keep track.
Here, like it jumps around, but like I kept feeling really bored. Like it's boring.
Yeah,
like it's boring.
Yes. Thank you. It's like for as fast as it was going, it was not grabbing my attention. I was just
I just kept like kind of sitting back, like
yeah.
And then something else would happen. I'm like, oh man. And I enjoyed Jeremy Irons, and I'm like, okay, this scene's okay. Yeah, but he's like the only one acting. Like everybody else, he's like acting around everything. Like
yeah.
He's carrying
like,
this
okay,
scene,
you've
this whole
got
fucking movie, man. The only
you
other
are
better actor
working
is the voice of the dragon.
you are working across from Jeremy Irons. Bring your fucking A game, dude.
I would. I'd be shitting my
Like,
pants.
they got this young kid who looks like fucking Bill Bruford from King Crimson, and it just always has the
Right?
nothing against Bill Bruford. Bill Bruford, I fucking love you, but
Yeah.
this kid
He just looks
looks
like
like Bill Bruford, just like I'm a great actor. Oh, it wasn't a rock. It's just like the whole fucking movie, and like, was it okay? So he gets the egg, or you don't know it's an egg, it's a stone,
Yeah.
and then he like brings it back to his uncle's house.
No, he takes it to the. He tries to trade it
that's
for
right.
some
For
meats.
one slab of meat.
I'm like,
Ooh.
dude, people are stupid. Like they make people stupid, but not stupid back then. Because we'll get into a part that I was just like, no, he doesn't know. How. Okay, I'm just gonna jump ahead. We already do. You know when he goes into Jeremy Irons' house and he finds that book.
Yeah.
First off, why in movies do they open it to the middle of the fucking book? Who starts reading there? Also,
Yeah.
he doesn't know how to read. There's no fucking way.
Not everybody has books, and he's just like some fucking farmer.
Yeah, like in the medieval times, no way does he know how to fucking read.
Education was not
What is it?
for everybody.
He's like, get out.
Middle of the
get the
book.
fuck out of his. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I go. When I read a book, middle go.
I mean, if you don't know how to read, then you might.
Yeah.
This is probably where people start, right?
Right.
I've only seen people reading out of the middle of the book. Never watched anybody crack one at the beginning.
Okay, was it me? So like the meat guy doesn't want it because he knows it was in the Kingswood or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he gets back to the farm and he starts like roughhousing with like I thought it was his brother, turns out it's his cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Was it me or did it feel like they were gonna kiss at the end?
Yes.
Of the fight?
Oh my god.
Because it was like that playing around and it was just gonna
very,
like it seemed like they were gonna get really close and then just like start kissing. I'm like, it was just a weird kind of
like,
playful. Like there's a difference between like brothers and cousins playing around and like whacking each other with swords.
yeah,
but like
and that's
this
where
just felt
you're
like
whoa, because like I thought it was his brother at first too, and I'm like, I don't
whoa.
remember. This is like some.
It's weirdly sexual, isn't it? Like
Okay, and there's some weirdly like sexual stuff with the dragon, and like when he's touching the stone, and like the lady every time he touches it, her like showing her face, and her just like, oh,
he's touching my stone.
and then when it like cracks and like he touches it, like,
and then like everybody else hears it apparently too. Like, oh yeah,
yeah, right.
I heard that thing crack from miles away. Oh, yeah.
And how do people not see this? How does his uncle not see this fucking thing? Like by the time he's like throwing it into the air, it's like the size of a small dog.
Okay, so like before we get to that, there's a problem I have with that. So like,
oh yeah, sorry,
a problem I have to bring up.
All right.
So like, yeah, his cousin is dodging the draft because when you hit a certain age, you have to be part of the king's army or whatever.
Oh, it goes from that like stop you right there. And he's like, "Oh, I'll see you again." No, he's probably gonna die at like 20 something. He's gonna cut his leg on the way wherever he's going. Dunzo.
Alone. Yeah,
he'd probably last a lot longer if he would have just joined the army.
I'm sure if you're gonna, make movies of the other books, I'm sure he's gonna run into him. He's gonna be a part of the rebellion, the Elgarons or whatever they're called.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Maybe he joins the other side. Who knows?
It goes from that like scene of him dodging the draft to suddenly the egg is hatching and he's upstairs. I'm like, there's no build up to there's no build up to like the egg shaking. It's just suddenly hatching. Like it should have been like noises and him looking and
him
like
going like
music build up and not just like and his like wooden reaction of just like, wow, a dragon. You're not a dog. What are you? But like, here's the problem I had. It hatches completely dry, nothing in the egg. Like no membrane, no like fluid around it, like to survive. It's just like I imagine just this dragon sitting in this empty egg, just like I'll wait to hatch, like not growing. Nothing.
He'll wait forever if he's gotta.
Like there's no slime or gooiness on it at all. Like
that's a very dry
like a raptor egg. Yeah, like when the raptor hatches, when John Hammond helps it hatch, it's like gooey and stuff because there's like it helps them live in the egg. What the fuck is why is it so dry and like they instantly know?
Well, I mean, I guess it's eating the membrane. It's been in there that long.
Yeah. You're not a bird. How do you not know what a fucking dragon is, dude?
Seriously.
It's like lore. It hasn't been that long since there's been no dragon riders, I feel like. How do you
Yeah.
not know what a fucking dragon is?
Yeah.
What is this thing?
Oh, what?
You're not a bird. Oh, there goes our rat problem. Are you hungry? Would you like some milk in this skin bag? Oh, you don't? Oh, no.
And why did he just leave it in the bucket?
And you poured it in the bag and hold it like, and it's like this bag made of fucking like animal skin. Like, here you go. It's like, do you drink out of this? What the fuck is this, man?
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, like that's all I've got. That's it.
Oh, and then eats the rat. There goes our rat problem.
Well, if that's if that's the only rat, then yeah, you do have a problem because now you have a hungry dragon. He's gonna start eating your animals. I mean, as a baby, I feel like it would.
Yeah.
Until it gets struck by lightning a few times in the clouds and becomes an adult.
Okay, I feel like that was just made to move the plot along. So like all you got to do is like look at your scar, you connect to your dragon, and suddenly it's like, I'm an adult.
It's like a Bluetooth connection.
Yeah. And then it evolves into full adult.
Yeah.
Been born a day. It knows dragon lore. It knows history. And it's like, how does it know all these things?
It knows magic. I don't know. It's like a hive mind. There is another dragon alive, I guess. I don't know.
Like that was like, there's so many. I mean, I know it's a children's book. It's written for young adults or whatever. But like, how the fuck does this dragon wake up later in the day and like no lore of dragon riders, and if you die then I die, and like
but I can die and you won't die.
Yeah, that's the dragon's ultimate goal, is to not sacrifice its. I'm like, how do you know all this? You've been a fucking day.
Seriously,
you were literally just a baby and now you're a full-grown dragon, and you're like, I know all dragon lore and we can communicate telepathically.
Yeah.
So then we cut back to Malkovich being all mad that the egg is hatched and his little shadow guy needs to go send him out. I like how Malkovich is the only person with an American accent.
Right.
Everybody else is like British and stuff, and he's just like, go get me my egg. Kill the boy before he becomes a man. Yeah, bitch.
Right. I really wish he would have just added some stuff like that, or sort of really spiced up this movie.
Yeah. give me a little Cyrus the Virus, why don't you?
Thanks. Yes. Or even just being John Malkovich. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Like just some of that where he's just like himself.
That's what's like. I mean, for the few scenes he was in, it was beautiful. I liked his, goth guy look with his little eyeliner and stuff. But like,
he's pulling off the beard.
Why do you have to kill him before he becomes a man? They never explain that. The shadow guy's like, I will kill him before he becomes a man. Like,
I don't know, because
why does that matter?
I don't know, because they think kids are weak, I guess. I mean, through the entire thing. Oh, well, I expected
more.
Well, see, I could see Jeremy Irons saying that. Like, really?
I expected
this kid?
more. Yeah. I got this fucking kid.
God damn, I'm gonna die.
And Eragon is such, for lack of a better word, whiny bitch. Because he's like talking to the dragon. He's like, what, did your mother leave you too? Did she leave you blah, blah, blah here? And it's like, why are you being such a, like,
seriously, knock it off. And I hate how he's always like, oh, well, I gotta go and do this. I gotta go save this guy. And I'm like, you couldn't even take on Jeremy Irons by yourself. He just knocked your ass around.
I trained. Oh, I have to save her. You forgot what it's like to be a dragon rider. You don't even know what it's like to be a dragon rider.
You're barely a dragon rider. You just got a dragon. You're scared to ride on its back.
Which this brings me to one of my main questions of this whole movie. These dragons are super intelligent. They have the skill of talk. I mean, other than, it's like telepathic.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck do they need a rider?
Seriously, why don't they just take over the human race?
Like, they don't need a person to tell them how to fly. They don't need a person to say, hey, use your fire right now.
Yeah, and they can also use magic without people. They are magic, pretty much, from what the movie says.
Why would they need a rider? There's no fucking point to that. And that's the dumbest idea, because you link yourself to a person, a vulnerable person who does not live a long time, because it's like the Middle Ages. And if they die, you die.
Yeah.
Sounds like a shit deal to me, dragons.
Right.
You don't need
It's sort of
riders.
like Dragonheart, except for isn't it in Dragonheart like if the dragon stays alive, like can't people
So
get
the
like
dragon,
extremely old and if you have a dragon in Dragonheart?
the dragon in Dragonheart ended up giving part of his heart
Oh,
to
that's
that
right.
kid. So if the kid dies, gets hurt, the dragon gets hurt. If the dragon gets hurt, the kid gets hurt because it's
That's
like
right.
a part of his
Because
heart is in
that's
the
right.
kid.
Dragons in that weren't like connected to humans other than if
Yeah,
they wanted to be.
yeah.
All right.
But see, like in Game of Thrones, it makes sense because dragons are just dragons. They can't talk, so like you can ride them and control them to tell them where to go, and like you can tell them to use fire, and they will.
Which
Like
makes more sense because if they're an intelligent species, why the fuck they're not going to deal
that'd be
with
like
humans?
me. That'd be like me going to go do my job, and it's like, well, I need a person to ride on my back in order for me to do my job because I need a rider to do my things of basic needs in life. I need a rider. It's like you don't. You're just a fucking dragon. You just exist as a dragon. You
Yeah.
can exist along with us. We can try to be friends, or like you said, just fucking take us over. But why do you need riders? I
Yeah.
don't understand that.
Yeah.
Also, this is very Star Wars: A New Hope.
Right? Okay.
You know, the kid.
I'm trying not to. I kept thinking, I'm like, man, this is so Star Wars. I'm like, no, it's not Star Warsy. But I'm like, man. And even that scene, there's a scene where he's sitting there like looking off at the sun, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's totally stolen from Star Wars, man. And his uncle dying and shit. And he
yeah,
goes back, even though they're like, don't go back there because that's stupid. As Jeremy Irons is like Obi-Wan.
yeah, and he is, and he dies.
And he
Spoiler
dies.
alert, like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And Eragon's got to go save a princess who's been captured
And
in
he
a
saves
fucking
him.
thing.
And they have to go back. But I mean, we never got like a whole. And there's a retaliation, just like in
The
Star Wars.
rebellion. Yep.
Well, like you remember after they go to the Death Star and then fucking
Yeah.
Vader's all pissed,
Yeah.
but they still don't take out the enemy. Nope. But that's pretty cool.
So this is just Star Wars with dragons.
With dragons. Yeah.
And like, okay. I don't remember the dragon's name. I don't think I ever will because I don't remember 90% of the names in this movie other than Eragon because it's the title. I don't know Jeremy Irons' name other than Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
I think Braun. I think it's Braun.
Yeah, it's Braun.
But like, so the dragon is like keeping him away from the house because they're here to kill him.
Mhm.
And of course he's like, no. And then he goes and finds his uncle. And then he is mad at the dragon
Yeah.
and tells the dragon to go away. I'm like, dude, fuck you, man.
Like the dragon is the reason you're fucking alive.
fool.
Like the dragon kept you alive, you idiot.
Yeah. And it was pissed off when you're like trying to flail around and it just throws you in a pile of hay.
Seriously. Like, oh, its name was Saphira? Saphira.
Saphira.
Yes. That's it.
But I do like when Jeremy Irons shows up. He's like, I'm not leaving till I bury my uncle. And he just like throws that fire on the
I
ground. He's
love
like,
that. I was
"There,
like, yes.
funeral for a king." And I was like,
Yes,
nice.
that's it.
Get him, fucking Braun. Fuck that kid.
Yeah, he was a
Fuck
turd.
that. You should have just taken his dragon. I feel like his dragon would have been like, all right, you're way cooler than I am.
Yeah, let's go finish
And the
this
whole
shit.
time you're like, who is this man? I doubt he used to be a dragon rider.
Right?
Spoiler alert, he was a dragon rider. I totally didn't see that coming.
Yeah, nope, didn't see that one coming.
Sorry, that's spoiler alert, people.
Yeah, he is a dragon rider as well.
Mhm.
Well, he used to be until his dragon got killed he got betrayed. Got
betrayed
betrayed
by
his friend.
another dragon rider.
And then he killed that guy and his dragon died too. Which was
With
pretty
the
cool.
sword of the bone saber of Ubercalis. And he stabbed the man through the heart.
And then his dragon died alongside him.
And that was the last dragon.
That's why he feels guilty about it. I'm like, yeah, but he was a piece of shit and killed your dragon.
I'm the one who ended the Age of Dragons. No, I'm pretty sure it was Malkovich who caused the war between everybody. So don't blame yourself because you seeked vengeance on your dragon, dude.
Yeah. Your dragon would have been totally proud of you.
Like, dude, fucking kill him, bro.
Yeah, and also, no, because wouldn't he know that Malkovich's dragon is still alive?
Yeah. Because that's why he's the king. I don't know. But, like, so yeah, like, Eragon does some flying around with his dragon because Jeremy Irons is like, call her back because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And I love how, like, there's that conversation, like, he doesn't always do it, but he does it a lot. He's like talking to her telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
instead of just out loud, you know? So
Yeah.
like this is like how the scene would have gone for Jeremy Irons. He's just like
Right.
he's just like talking to his dragon, and he's just like Braun's just like, I don't know either one of you are saying. He's like
I
at
remember when
least
I used to.
speak out loud. So
Yeah.
like you
I mean,
like the
because I mean, I get some of the parts where he'll be like, "All right, well, yeah,
secretly like
go and
be careful.
do this," and then like, you know, be careful.
Be careful. I get that, but like that whole scene when she comes back, it's like all in their heads, and so he just poor Jeremy Irons just like,
You let me in on what's going on. Oh yeah, I forgot you can't. Yeah. I don't know. You might if that was a thing, you might end up doing that to people. Oh shit, I forgot you
yeah.
can't hear my dragon. Oh, this is what we're talking about. I don't want to be rude.
So he has a line. It's before you find out. You don't find out he's a dragon rider yet.
Yeah.
But you know, he says like, I've seen things you could never imagine, and I instantly thought of Roy Batty from Blade Runner. I've seen attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. What was the other one? I've seen sea beams glitter in the house of Tannhauser or near Tannhauser. It's like I wanted him to say that and just be like, all those memories are lost.
He's
like
a time traveler.
in the rain. Jeremy Irons is like scoping her up and down, and she's like, he doesn't know much about dragons. And he's like, you've got thin legs, you've got claws and wings. She's like, okay, maybe he does know about dragons. Like, all he did was like describe your body, and you're like, okay, he might.
Well,
know
like
about
he was
dragons.
describing her body, and then he's like, "Oh, she's got tiny legs," and he's like, "She's like, oh," and he's like, "It's a fine looking dragon." She's like, "Oh, well, well."
If I do say so.
Oh, I know, I have feathers.
I don't like that.
Right. I got never ending story vibes. And that works
and
though,
like
because he doesn't have wings. He reminds me of
he's
like a
like a
Chinese
serpent.
dragon. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I don't understand why she has wings. Because she has scales, but she also has like feathers and hairs and stuff, but like that's just a bird.
Yeah.
An eagle at that point with like
4 legs.
four legs. So it's like it's gotta be the skin and the dragon scale. Like dragons are supposed to be like
scaly and like
vulnerable because it's like, oh man, they're so thick and scaly, not just like I could just tear her wings off. She won't be able to fly.
Well, apparently because they need armor still to go into battle too.
Yeah.
But like I'm jumping way to the end here. You see Malkovich's dragon, he's not covered in fucking feathers.
No, dude, that guy's
he
a
looks all
beast.
right. Looks all scary and mean. And for some reason hidden behind a cloth the entire movie.
Yeah. I was sleeping. Oh.
Or a big map or whatever that was.
Yeah. The prophecy map or something. I don't know what that was.
But anyway, where are we? Well,
So yeah, he said he's seen shit. He's gonna take him to the resistance or some shit like that.
And they make it to that weird little shanty town. Isn't that when they go there?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, go buy some bread. And I
and
thought,
also don't talk to anybody.
How are you supposed to buy some bread if you don't talk to anybody?
Yeah. And then gets his palm or like fortune read or some shit.
Yeah, like how she just like kind of comes out and she's like, oh.
Once again, this movie's going a million miles an hour. And like I already have a hard time keeping up with it. And now talking about it, I don't remember the order of any of this shit happens. I took notes in this order,
but
I don't remember it. I'm like,
because it's again, it jumps around, but it's boring.
Yeah. Didn't catch my attention enough to keep me like, oh
wow. Ooh.
But like, so like Jeremy Irons secretly used a little bit of magic when he started that fire. They're like, what did you say? And
nothing. Don't
so
worry
of
about
course,
it. All good.
The bad guys show up and they're fighting, and Braun's getting overrun, and Eragon apparently suddenly knows how to say the word for fire in Elvish, and it sounded like he said bazinga.
Right? I was like, that's so lame.
Bazinga! It's from Big Bang Theory.
And then what I didn't understand after that, the arrow flies, it explodes, the people go flying, and then they show the bridge collapsing, and I'm like,
where'd they go? Why didn't that all happen at once?
Like, I was like, it would have been a lot cooler if the bridge just collapsed and they all died right there. Like,
yeah.
And I love it. Like, oh, did I kill him with that blast? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, nice. That's not something to be proud of.
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
Like,
nice. Bazinga. Yeah. And apparently it drains him. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because you got to use, use your own energy for magic.
I can't do it. I'm too weak. And like, so then he gives him like a day of training with the
Okay.
Falcor or whatever.
Okay,
her
hold
name
on a
is.
sec. Back up for the whole like Jeremy Irons beating the crap out of this kid. They come across those villagers getting attacked. I thought they were gonna go help.
Nope.
Nope.
Jeremy Irons is like, no, we got other shit to do, dude.
Let me train you instead.
I like how
and
he's
then,
like, yeah, like, because I know how to fight. My cousin I used to, and he's like, okay. And then like I thought they were gonna go try to get him, and Jeremy Irons was gonna do all the work.
Yeah.
But instead, it's a fucking stick fight by the fucking river. And I'm like, what is going on right
I'm like,
now?
oh, what happened to those people?
Oh, they're dead.
Oh yeah,
we watched them die. But hey, let's have a stick fight.
They didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance. Let me teach you some moves, kid. So you don't end up like those guys down there.
Maybe you shouldn't have been spending so much time kissing your cousin and fighting your cousin. Yeah, we used to train with swords. It's like, oh, boy, I'm skilled.
It's just so great how he's always like, I can take care of myself. I can do all this. I'm like, then why do you keep getting your ass kicked?
Yeah, hand it to you time and time again.
And also, there's some random kid that helps them out.
Well, that was later on.
No,
That's when he goes back.
No, isn't it at that place? Or he sees him there.
Yeah,
he sees him when he's going to buy bread that he never gets. And also, what was Jeremy Irons doing at that time? He just goes and talks to that guy, and then they go off into the. Yeah. He's going to score some heroin.
Yeah, he's like, all right, dude. I was a dragon rider, but I'm also addicted to opium. So, Daddy has to get his fix.
Go buy some bread.
Yeah. I gotta get fucking lit, dude. So I'm gonna train you, dude.
Just gonna make it all the way to that mountain without my fix.
this last time I need to get well, and then I swear I'm off the stuff for good, Eragon. I just need this to get well, okay?
I need this to get to the mountain, or I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Yeah. He goes to help train him, and he builds a saddle for her.
Oh, but did I get to my point? Yeah, they see that one kid there. He sees him as he's going in, then nothing. I forgot about him until he comes back. But anyway,
I forgot about him until you just said it there. I was like, oh, he was in that town. I only thought you saw him in the fucking.
And then they add a whole thing with him toward the end, and it's stupid.
And they never come back to it anyway.
Well, they do come back. They kind of they know.
Yeah,
God, it's okay. Anyway, so
it's a jumble movie. Like I knew they were trying to start a series of movies. Like I knew they were supposed to, but this bombed so hard that they're like,
guess we'll just
So it's like I'll get up once again. I'm gonna get to that in my review of the movie later on. But for now, so the next morning when like he's trying to teach him how to be a dragon rider. So the kid's flying around and Jeremy Irons is following him and giving him advice. Like the kid's gonna be able to fucking hear him. He's like, yeah, you're doing well. Be sure. And like he's already passed him. So he's like, like that's all you'd hear from like fucking Jeremy
And also
Irons.
like does he control her slightly or does she just do all the flying on his own? Because she gets all weird when he leans really hard to the side.
Yeah.
Oh, don't lean so hard. I'm like,
well, that's like throwing her weight off at that point. Because once again, why the fuck do you need a rider? If he's not going to ride you well, you're just going to throw your weight off.
Yeah. Like you got to work in tandem, but then they do. And then he can see with her dragon.
I can see like you.
Oh, yeah. Because he just asks.
Is this how you see all the time?
Okay. So that was another thing. He's asking Jeremy Irons, oh, what's the word for this? What's the word for this? And then magically he just starts knowing all this language.
All the words. Yeah.
And like, when he says some of those words, I would have been like, whoa, can you say that again? What?
One more time. And like, he gets so excited when he looks at a branch and learns the word for branch or tree.
And I'm thinking, when are you going to fucking use it? And then he does, but
use it once and then never again.
Yeah.
But like, it's just a fucking jumble mess. And like, he just, it's just so bad. I don't remember where I was going with that. Yeah. The training and he can see with her dragon eyes and
zoom in apparently
and zoom in. I was gonna say she has zoom vision of
you think that's cool. Check this out.
Oh, I can zoom 3 times. That's it though. Yeah, but that's it.
I got 3 times magnification. I can't go any farther than that. Also, it starts looking a little blurry.
And then Braun's in trouble because apparently now she has heat vision like a predator.
Yeah.
And then they fight the guys, but she gets instantly hurt and falls down. So
Well,
then
also he's
Bronn,
telling her to go flying through like thick forest.
once
Get
again,
lower.
don't fucking
Get lower. You
Don't
don't need a
listen,
fucking
lady.
rider.
you see those trees are there, and you're like, no, I'm gonna listen to him. He's right. I should
Yeah,
fly right
he's a
into
dragon
these
rider.
things.
You saw the scar on his hand that I gave him. You know,
Don't fucking listen to him, lady.
I
He
purposely
doesn't know
attached myself
shit.
to this fucking
Dumb fuck.
mortal kid from
This
the
dumb
Dark Ages.
fucking dumb hick from a farm town.
He's got the dragon heart though. He's got heart. That's what matters.
He's got heart. He's got spirit. Ugh. Why don't you just attach yourself to Jeremy Irons? He was already a dragon.
Seriously.
He could have 2 scars on each hand now.
Yeah, now he's the
He
ultimate
knows his
dragon rider.
shit.
Mach 2.
And like, that's okay. That's when you find out he is a dragon rider. So
Yeah.
the kid's helping him fight. He uses the tree word, and it helps. It grabs like one of them.
I love how
The
the
tree
guy
and its
looks-
body goes so stiff, just like. It's like, why? Just like, ooh.
Okay, I was gonna write it down. I'm like, nah.
I'm glad you saw it too,
You'll
because
see
it
it.
was just fucking
You'll see
hilarious. Just like, ooh, and like his feet go out too, like that. So he's just like a like.
It's like, you might want to go like really stiff with this. It might break your neck.
Which they never discussed. Those guys, they were cool. They like came out of the ground or something, and they had like worm faces or some shit. Like
They
there
had
was
like
just
bugs
like,
all
holy
over him or
shit,
something. But
moving
then
on their face, and that was cool. And they
Well,
never
see-
talk about them.
and there was that in the beginning too. The kid goes back and he's peeping through that hole and sees the guy that was like the meat market guy.
Yeah,
And then he's like still thinking he could take those things on. I'm like, dude, you see
You
them?
fucking
They're like
dumb.
gross
Yeah.
bugs. They look supernatural, man. Like,
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
jumped up on that table, and you're hiding behind it.
Yeah. Where was your courage then? What happened to your balls?
My cousin and I never trained for this.
I don't know. There were some bugs. We never kissed like
Yucky.
that.
Yeah. We never kissed around bugs before. Ooh. The rats always ate all the bugs at our barn.
But now who's gonna eat the bugs?
Oh, my uncle. He's in trouble. There's too many bugs. Why am I turning into Don Knotts suddenly? This kid would have been better as Don Knotts.
And then, and then that the shade guy stabbing that guy in the foot because he didn't bring back kill that kid.
Dude, it's like, great, now I'm gonna have an infection. I have to get that thing fucking cut off, dude.
Yeah, like, do you really now you've really hurt a soldier and he's not gonna do as good as you want him to.
And then you're upset when he comes back later and he didn't have the kid. I'm like, well, you're the one that stabbed me in the fucking foot, dude.
Seriously, and he's limping in as he does it
Yeah.
too. I love the and now you're promoted and the guy's like, great.
Oh. Just touches him with that gross little.
I
was hoping for like his head to explode.
I thought he was gonna put his finger like in his head, which would have been way cooler and creepier and grosser and like way more like
a little
menacing than
prick
just,
and
like,
then
a little beep.
Yeah, like I really wanted to like finger in there and just head just like. But then again, this is a children's movie, probably rated like PG-13.
But I mean, it did have a little bit of like, stuff that I don't know.
Could have been. So then you find out Jeremy Irons was a dragon rider, and his dragon died, and this is how you find out about the bone saber of Ubakala. So the fucking sword was cool because it was like red.
Yeah, every
and it
time
had,
he
like
took
a
it out.
jewel.
Yeah,
a jewel with like a fucking dragon claw holding the like you get at a Renaissance fair.
Yeah, it was like really over the top.
Yeah.
Like medieval fantasy sword, which I enjoyed. Taking it out and had like flame that was like
like after he kills that thing, yeah.
I was like, that's sick.
Cool.
Well, at that point, I probably been like, "Whoa, man, what's with the sword and stuff? Like, that's pretty badass."
Tell me the truth. You just put a bunch of mustard on my dragon's wing. I knew it. You're a dragon rider too.
I'm gonna go rinse it off in the stream.
Yeah. So yeah, you hear the sad tale, and then they go to Betty Bye, and John Malkovich tells the shade guy to like
step up his game.
Kid.
He's getting pissed.
Stop sending these dinguses out,
And then he's like, "Wait a minute, I'll just make him come to me."
Touches that girl with his little gross finger, and then pretends to be her in a dream. I must go save her. I have to go now. She's been. You don't fucking know who's.
And then of course he's letting his wiener do the walking, and he's like, "I'm gonna go and save her."
I can go right into the enemy's castle and grab her,
which he does surprisingly easily.
But yeah, without with fucking Braun coming out of nowhere, dude. That guy, how did he get there so fast?
Yeah, had to go
Like-
back. They're backtracking.
Yeah,
and he's
just
on a
like,
dragon. He's
fucking riding a horse. And just
that poor horse is probably dead.
yeah,
He rode it to death.
like
She goes there to save his stupid ass, only to fucking get stabbed. But it was kind of cool anyway. The way that guy, the shade guy, ended up being one of the cooler characters, I think.
I think that's what this movie lacked, was more fantasy magical elements. Like dragons exist in this world, and this kid's just using dumb words for magic and making his eyes glow blue so he can see in the night. And like meanwhile, this shade guy is doing like cool shit of like making a demon bat, and like bringing these guys from the fucking ground. Like we needed more of that level of mysticism and fantasy,
When it got to that part, I was interested.
Yeah.
Like, because I was like, oh shit, that's badass. And then the guy's like
anytime this dude was on screen,
I loved it when he got hit in the forehead with that arrow.
Yeah.
And I love when Jeremiah, like when he's like, oh, it's cool, I got him. And Jeremiah's like,
him in the heart?
Well, did you get him in the heart? Because that's the only way you can kill a shade. Idiot. Horse's ass.
Oh, no, because I know everything. You forgot what it's like to be a dragon rider.
And that was really, and that whole scene with that war scene was pretty cool. Like that was like the best part of the movie.
Yeah. And it's so quick and you don't see much of it.
And God, the actors that were so like that one dude.
So wooden.
Yeah. I kept thinking he was shirtless, even though it was just his armor.
Yeah.
Like, man, he's cut. I'm like, oh, that's his armor. I'm like, also, what's with the hair? I feel, and then like,
I feel like into dreads later. It looks like it's all dirty and gross.
Well,
it's Zach De La Rocha's hair.
It's weird. It's like it looks straight, but it also looks like they were like, we can't attach it very well, so please stay straight when you're talking. Like, like he had to be really. He was super stiff.
Yeah,
and I've seen that guy in other movies, and he's not a bad actor. So I'm like,
no, he's good.
I'm like, what the hell is this?
You just fucking wasted him.
Like a few, wasted some good actors in this.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get into the.
So Jeremy Irons shows up out of nowhere, saves dumb Eragon, and they get out of there so easily because she comes crashing through, crushes the guy with stones, and then the guy from Tron shows up. You find out he's a good guy. He helped him. You don't know for sure he's a good guy, but he helps him escape again.
Yeah.
And poor fucking Jeremy Irons has to die.
Yeah, saving numbnuts Eragon.
And he tries to use magic to save him because somehow he knows a word that could bring him back to life.
All he's saying is heal. He's like saying heal. Heal him up. Like you're not strong.
The coolest thing though was she lets him on her back one last time to die like a dragon rider. I was like,
that was pretty cool. But I really thought she was gonna eat him.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's what
I feel like this
is
an excuse. This is an excuse to take him up in the sky and be like, well, I sent him off. It's all good. She ate him.
Yep. Like a true dragon would for their dragon rider.
And if I was a dragon rider, I'd be like, go ahead. Like, unless it kills you, then don't.
Yeah, it would, because I die and then you die.
Yeah, so don't eat me.
And so Dingus buries him. How the fuck did they get so many rocks and from where?
And then she turns those rocks into a diamond around him.
Yeah, she can't do fire, but I thought she was turning it to ice at first.
That's what I did. I thought too, and I'm like, that's not gonna last. Now he'll be frozen in time. I'm like, yeah, for maybe a day.
Yeah, which I'm sure in the books, since he's frozen and untouched by time, they're able to bring him back somehow. So I'm sure later in the books, I'm sure he comes back because he can bust out of his crystal cavern and be like, I'm revived. I'm sure that happens, or it should happen in the books. I don't know. But I feel like they're setting that up. It's
yeah. Well, we don't want him turning gross, so we'll just keep him preserved here. But would that keep you preserved, or would it turn you into a fucking mummy? I'm like, dude, if your brain is deprived of oxygen and stuff, you're not coming back from that. Like, if you do, you're gonna be a vegetable.
Yeah, I think it's literally frozen in time almost.
She can create time crystals, but she can't blow fire.
Not till the end when it's necessary. Yeah, when it's part of the plot.
When you got to set some motherfuckers on fire.
Yeah,
then. Which was actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
So they go and find the resistance and the waterfall, and Oh yeah, one girl has poison somehow. Oh yeah, because she got touched by.
Because she got touched by the shade.
And when a problem it has when they get in there, all the resistance people come out, and in the background you see like this giant cave door shut behind the waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
How'd they do that? What fucking mechanism are they using to have a giant like rock wall be able to slide over the entrance? What are they using?
The Force.
A lot of this shit was like, that's just the Force. Like,
Yeah.
man, that's your excuse for everything.
Does it know to go yay?
Yeah. The Force.
Okay, they close him in, and then that's when you find out this guy's the son of that one guy who is a bad guy
that Jeremy Irons killed, that betrayed us all. We don't get to choose our fathers. Here's the scar that he gave me.
Like, yeah, kid, chill.
Yeah, whoa, you're underage, bro. And
no
like,
one wants to see that. Come on.
And then they lock him up.
Yeah, which I didn't understand. I'm like, well, he's helped them this entire way. I can't trust you. Well, I hated my dad, and he's dead also.
Lock him up. We don't have time to take chances.
See, and then I thought, oh, hey, there's another movie. He gets a dragon. I mean, his dad was a dragon rider, so why wouldn't he?
Yep. I'm sure it's in the books. I didn't know, but like, oh yeah, and then Malkovich has them get up the army.
Yeah.
And then that next scene with the shade guy talking to the army like he's Saruman, his face just got worse suddenly.
Yeah, he just
like he had the cracks in his lip, and it was like super pale. You couldn't see his markings anymore. His like eyebrows were gone. He kind of looked like worm, like Griemer Wormtongue from like the Two Towers. Like,
yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of. And I'm like,
I was like, what the fuck
happened,
is what
man?
happened?
Like, he has like
him?
a slow transformation throughout the movie where he just gets worse and worse. But he is supposed to be like a shade possessed by a bunch of demons. So I mean,
yeah, it's like given his speech to the army.
Mm-hmm. And he can carry his voice, that's for sure. That's a huge army.
That magic, everyone in the back's just like, I can hear you clearly.
It's like he's right here.
It's like surround sound.
This is crazy. It's 3D sound.
The line that I wanted to agree with Eragon was like, when he's like, why me? I'm just a farm boy. I was like, yeah, why you?
Yeah.
I have that same question.
I've been thinking
too.
this.
I'm sure everybody in this fucking rebellion room's thinking the same thing. I'm like, why this dumb fuck?
Yeah,
why not literally anybody else? Why me? I'm just a farm boy.
Of course that he had to add that in there. Why did it have to be me? Why has it got to be me? I didn't ask for any of this.
Yeah. Once again,
going for
I'm
no hero.
That Lord of the Rings line, with like and Frodo's like, I wish the ring hadn't come to me, like, oh boy.
I feel like this movie was kind of trying to like coast off of that stuff. I don't remember exactly when Lord of the Rings came out. Was it
2003, 2004, I think?
Okay, so this was 2006.
So it had been out, yeah. And like I think Two Towers had been out too.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like it was kind of, man, it sucks because I feel like the movies that we keep looking at are ones that are trying to coast off of like success of other shit.
It's definitely like companies being like, we need to make our Lord of the Rings. We need to do this kind of thing. It's hot, it's fresh, it's new right now, like.
And then when I say that, I don't feel so bad about not enjoying it.
Well, because like they didn't do it for the love of the source material. They did it for a cash grab.
Yeah.
Like Peter Jackson did Lord of the Rings to like make Lord of the Rings and make a cool adaptation of it. He didn't do it because like, oh, people love medieval stuff and movies based on books right now. Let me do this. Like he just did it because he's like, I want to make Lord of the Rings. And he did a fucking phenomenal job at it. So now other people are scrambling like, we got to do it too. It's like, do it because you like it, not because you want to make fucking money. Like,
and I mean, especially if you're gonna get actors like that.
Yeah. And I feel bad because it's probably like Jeremy Irons, like agent, like, oh, it's gonna be the next Lord of the Rings, dude. Trust me, you're gonna want.
Like, and you're gonna be like top character here.
You're gonna be like the Obi-Wan, dude.
Oh, okay. Now, if someone laid it out like that for me, you're gonna be like Obi-Wan. I'd be like, man, really? I'd be like,
Can I just
Obi-Wan?
be Obi-Wan?
That's sick, dude. Yeah, okay.
Fuck yeah.
Well, fuck yeah, Obi-Wan.
Oh, I die? Oh, what?
Like Obi-Wan though? Like, is it like that? Oh, it's
Oh
insane.
yeah, you're gonna be back for the sequel, and trust me, there's gonna be a few of these movies.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
Count me in.
We're not gonna do a second movie, and so your character's dead for sure now.
Yeah,
Also,
and this only made you're barely getting paid. This only made $1 million over what it costs to make. Seriously,
yeah.
it was 100 million, made 200 and something million box office. Like this, like this.
Ouch.
Ow! And I gave you some of that money.
Oh. So they're getting ready for the big battle. Eragon gets some dope ass armor, and like they made armor for the dragon, and it was like this cool mask.
Yeah.
And she's not even wearing it in the next thing. It's just like this like helmet that barely covers her head.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened to the thing that like covered her whole face? I'm like, that looked fucking sick, dude. Those people were up all night working on that.
Yeah, and they
she
even
just
say
uses the
that they're
thing that,
like,
like,
oh, they were up
yeah.
all night crafting this armor for her, and I'm like, oh, sick.
And she doesn't use most
She's
of
like,
it.
yeah, I'm good. That's gonna be heavy. I'm not.
Oh,
it
you
just
won't be
seemed
able to see my face. I'm like, yeah, but you'll be badass. Dude.
as if the
Like,
dragon isn't a paid actor. Like, yeah, you're not
Yeah.
gonna be able to see my face. It was a Stallone thing. It was like
Yeah.
when he was in Judge Dredd.
Yeah. You won't be able to see my face.
I'm taking my
So
helmet
you'll
off.
be able to see it. Take it off.
I'm not gonna act in this unless I get to take my helmet off.
And put some fake blue contact lenses in me.
So stupid. Although that movie does hold a special place, just because it's so fucking ridiculous.
Nostalgic reasons.
Yes, yes. So anyway, he's going into battle.
She can breathe fire suddenly because are we connected? I'll take that as a yes.
It'd be great if he could breathe fire too.
Yeah.
He's sitting on her back, just
like there's so many just like cheesy lines in that movie with like the whole like, we can do it as long as we're connected as one. Are we? And then she breathes fire. I'll take that as a yes. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go set some people on fire.
Yeah, because I think they filled the water with oil. I don't know. It looked like that's what they were doing.
Yeah, was it?
They were setting up for the battle. Yeah, they like dumped this like black liquid in the water.
Like, I hope that's not your drinking water, because
yeah.
But then again, back then they were probably like, it'll be fine later. We're gonna burn all the oil off.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be fine.
It's just standing water. It doesn't come up from a well or anything. We wait for it to rain.
Yeah.
They're like,
And so like during the battle, the kid that's locked up, he's like, let me out. And then like a bad guy comes through and he kicks the guy through the door. I was like, if you could kick a guy hard.
He kicks the guy through the wall that he was banging on. Yeah, I had the same. I'm like, why didn't you just like grab the ceiling and just kick the fucking wall open?
Like, let me out, and then suddenly like kick a guy through the wall. If you can kick him through the wall, you can kick the wall.
Yeah, I can only summon my superhuman strength if someone's like literally attacking me.
And if I hold my arms up just a certain way, you know,
then I'll kick you right through the wall.
Yeah,
like yeah.
All right. And then Eragon and the Shade have a dragon battle. Except for the Shade is like this fucking cool bat looking thing with like a bunch of teeth. I'm like, man, this thing is.
And he's
dope,
riding.
dude.
He's riding around on it. Like I'm like
just like standing on it. That's what's fucking cool.
And he's like, he was like one of my favorite characters to the whole thing, because he was like, he was the only one with like any powers or like doing cool shit. Like Eragon was so lame with his stupid dragon eyes, and this guy's coming out.
I can make like branches come to life.
And this guy is like a super powerful fucking like warlock, and you know, can materialize a bat dragon thing out of like smoke. You know, he's like, oh, I'm gonna make a tornado and huge bat's gonna come out, but I'm so damn powerful that you're gonna use magic and I'm gonna take you out. I love how the fire
stand up on it. I'm not gonna sit on it. I'm gonna stand on it. The
dragon blows a fireball at him and it just goes around him, and he has like zero change in his like expression. Just flies through it. Like why wasn't there more of that shit?
Yeah.
But it was cool how he killed him. Like that was, like if they would have made him more like of an action hero and like less of a whiny butthole, like
I think if they had established that he was a good fighter, like he actually was a good fighter, not just saying he was, like that'd have been cool, because he like trained all of his life, because like maybe he wanted to be on the King's Guard, or you know, maybe because he like wants to avenge his parents' death. I don't know, whatever. give him a reason to be a good fighter.
Yeah.
So when the opportunity presents itself, he's actually fucking good, and I can believe that. Oh, he can do that. Oh, okay.
I mean, like, again, the fight was believable and it was
Yeah.
cool. But you're right. There was no lead up to him knowing how to fight. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
he has a one training session, which is like 15 minutes maybe with Jeremy Irons, and now he can kill a shade, which is extremely fucking powerful.
And like the line earlier when she's flying, it's like a good dragon rider can even ride on its tail. Why would it need to? And then he
for
can
that specific
so it
reason,
can
so he could like
fling
whip
him.
you into stuff.
Yeah. The weird part was like when the bat thing had her neck, and he's like, "Hear her screams."
I know. I'm like, dude,
what?
some of this is just so weird. Like, it's just so like they were just weird.
Like, I don't know if that's from the book, like the line of "Hear her screams." Do they think like this will land perfectly in this movie?
It just makes it sound like you're really sadistic as far as like torturing things, and it's creepy because
hear her
like
scream.
the way you're taking like the pleasurable like
Yeah,
feeling I'm getting off of you makes it weird.
making it weird, dude.
But then like,
And like
the armor apparently does nothing.
yeah, because it was like she had armor around her neck, and she's like bleeding from the top of it. Like, well, what's the fucking point? Of that?
Yeah.
I'm too weak. Oh, you have to. I'll whip him at him with my tail, and like,
Yeah.
the kid screams, "Let's finish this!" And I have never agreed more with what that kid said in my life. I was like,
know,
"Yes,
right?
let's finish this movie."
And
Like,
is it done after that? No, he passes out
Oh.
because he has to heal his dragon. Kid passes out a lot in this movie.
Yeah. Like, this is the hope of the future. This guy's a fucking dragon lord
Like,
rider.
he faints when he looks at his dragon's blood, barely. So, I mean,
I tried to save you.
and then wakes up, and then dickhead asshole has to give him that stupid line. I'm like, well,
Where it's like, some friends aren't replaceable. Okay. Luckily, you won't have to. Yeah.
Like, wait, so she's dead? No.
Yeah. Are you trying to say that you're my new friend and you're replacing her? Like, what is that line supposed
I don't
to
want to be your friend. I don't know you.
How long was he sitting there and staring at him until he woke up?
Maybe it could have been a few. And see, there's no passage of time there either. Just all of
Never
a sudden,
know.
because
they're singing songs about you. How? It's been a day? Maybe I don't know how.
Yeah, how long? I would have been like, how long have I been asleep?
Where is she? And like,
oh, that's stupid. What you did was reckless, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
I didn't really want to die, but that was stupid.
Yeah. And like, then he's like, "Where's the girl?" And he's like, "I thought you might ask that. She's riding off. When has a horse ever outrode a dragon?" And then like they catch up, and she's like, "I have to go back to Glomgor to warn people or some shit." And
I have to go back to make a second movie. Come on.
Yeah. Will I see you again? It's like time. She says time moves quickly. I was like, yeah, no shit. In this movie,
so
time does
tomorrow
move quickly.
maybe.
Yeah.
And then the dragon has to reiterate that for some reason because he wasn't listening.
Tomorrow is another day. And then the girl's like, take care of him. And Dragon just looks at her, and in her mind's like, I will. So it's like
she didn't hear you.
You're telepathic. You can only speak to numbnuts over here, dude. Take care of him. Was that a yes?
Why is the dragon nodding at me? Is that a yes?
Did she say yes?
Did she say
yes, Eragon? Yes, she said yes. Just like this, it's just that weird era of like young adult novels of like they try to go on that thing of like an everyday man can be a hero, and then like an everyday young boy can be a hero. I'm like, yeah, but you always make them fucking dumb.
Yeah, why do they always have to be? Yeah, like why do they always got to be? Like, there's never like a hero that like, yeah, like that's somewhat competent, you know?
Yeah, like why would
I think a person could be a hero, be competent, but also be like a dumb kid at the same time, you know?
So like I know it's that classic, you know, hero trope of like the Odyssey of like thrown into this situation where you have to be a hero and you learn, you overcome, and you get better.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't always have to be. Like this kid could have been a good fighter, and he could have like had these, you know, these skills and tendencies, and that's why the dragon's like, I chose you.
Yeah,
you have a good heart, and you're also good at these things.
Yeah, which would make more sense. Like, your heart is good.
Yeah, choosing a kid who's whiny, who's never had been in a fight, who's
Who makes
weak
out
as
with his
fuck,
cousin.
makes out with his cousin. I choose you to ride me for eternity. Like, why? Why that? And like, is it so like some young teenage kid reading that's like, that could be me.
I
I
mean,
could be the dragon rider because I'm incompetent too. Yeah, like why?
but then and then I'm thinking, if that's the case, and all these kids reading Harry Potter were like, someday I'll be a wizard.
My uncle locks me in a closet too. I'll be a wizard someday. Like,
You're a wizard, Jerry.
you're a wizard, Jerry. Like, I don't know. Like, it's done right certain ways. Like Luke Skywalker, he already had like the skills of the Force. He just didn't know it. He
Yeah.
had good reflexes and all this other shit.
Well, yeah,
And Obi-Wan just helped him train those.
Metachlorians.
Yeah, metachlorians and shit, right?
Born with it.
Yeah, but like Obi-Wan helps him learn his skills better. Like he already has these skills. This
And
kid
then
had fucking zero.
They develop those skills. They're like, yeah, we know that they're there, but no, you're not a fucking master. We'll help you get better.
This kid has no idea what's going on. And it's like, oh, if you say these words, by the way, you have magic, and not just teach. I don't know.
But be careful because it could kill you. And he's like, yeah, whatever, and just does it anyway. It literally uses your life force to do it. So maybe use it. And he even fucking tells him it's a last resort, dude. Like, don't.
Okay, so use it all the time. Got it.
Right?
No, don't use it all the time. Use it all the time. Got it.
Got it. No, use it as a last resort.
Bron would be so proud of you. What, for never fucking listening to him? Yeah, he'd be super proud.
Yeah. Oh, well, and then he keeps quoting, well, do what you want, then ask for forgiveness. So
yeah. Don't ask for permission, beg for forgiveness or some shit like that.
Yeah, ask for forgiveness. I'm like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it, and it makes some sense, but and then it comes back in the end, and he's like, oh, I did say that.
Like a wise man said one time, do 1/3, 2/3, whatever the fuck that last line was.
Yeah, one part hero and three parts fool.
Yeah.
3 parts ghoul.
3 parts ghoul. Be a ghoul, Harry. Be a ghoul.
Harry. Eragon, be a ghoul.
Be a ghoul, Eragon. That's Bron's last words. Flying on the back of a dragon. Be a ghoul.
You're a fucking ghoul, Eragon.
Yeah.
What? And then he dies.
Huh?
Why'd you pick this? Up there, he was having a discussion. Like, why'd you pick this kid? God damn it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to die.
I'm going to die because this dumb fucking ghoul who was a goddamn farmer kisses his cousin all the time. I got to risk my life for this dumb fucking kid? What a shit deal. Like, we're supposed to be risking our lives for this kid? And like, he's even telling Eragon that he's like, oh, people have died so you could come back. Like people have given their lives. More are going to for this fucking kid.
Yeah,
you want me to believe that? Like this kid's like the new fucking messiah or some shit? Like, no.
Seriously. And it's BS because he even tells him it. And even that princess goes like, dude, why the fuck are you here? Like you're supposed to have gone. Oh, god damn. But I mean, Luke does the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, no,
because they went to go save her because they originally go to Alderaan, but they blew. And they're like, oh, we have to go save the princess.
And that's what Obi-Wan. He's like, oh, we got to go save the princess because she has a plan. So that, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So like, it was all his idea, not just like Luke thinking with his boner of like, oh, we gotta go get her. I mean, he thinks with once he sees her, like, ooh.
Yeah. And then that turns out to be.
Don't remember those boners. Like,
yeah. So that's. Yeah,
that's all I got.
That's the end. Of the movie.
I don't even remember it very much.
That's it. That's the end of it. They do that lame crap at the end, and then you get to see Malkovich finally again for like another
mad.
Piece. Yeah, and then he cuts in half the
skin wall of prophecy or something.
Which for some reason his dragon is behind. I guess that's where he keeps them when he's not using them.
Yeah. You sleep back there until.
Because honestly, in this universe, dragons are pretty much cars. Like,
yeah, it's right around
telepathic cars that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Apparently,
yeah, but they can also do whatever they want to do. So it's like,
it's just it's a strange relationship that humans have with dragons in this universe
Yeah.
because it doesn't seem like they fucking need them at all.
No, I don't. It's like I don't get it. Like, don't make the dragon so intelligent then.
Yeah, make them just
Like,
growling, snarling dragons.
make it need you
Yeah,
instead of it. Like, it's
And-
stupid.
and instead of just unnecessary, you don't need each other like at all.
But we're bonded for life now.
Yeah,
So get
and
on my back.
look what that did. It made it made a fucking like king who's a piece of shit. You know, so like that's what happens when you team up with humans.
Yeah, they take advantage of it. They kill all the other dragons so they can be the only dragon rider with the only dragon. Like, dude,
Which just seems like such a weird thing to do. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, like, if you're evil, I guess that's not something you'd think about. Like,
You don't think about it.
I don't give a shit
like,
about human life or dragon life. You know,
what's the end game of this, Malkovich?
Yeah, that's what.
The
Yeah, what
king?
is the end game of it? Because there's not really a like he already has the kingdom.
Yeah.
Is it just because the rebellion's going to come and like take it back?
Yeah.
And then after that, is it a kingdom anymore? Does someone else take over? Do the dragon riders assume control, or
does it become a democracy with like different factions? Like, what's the fucking end game in this?
Okay, so if anybody has finished Eragon, I'm curious because I don't want to read it. I suppose I could cliff note it, but I really don't want to do that either because I'm scared it's going to be just as boring as this crap.
Yeah.
Man,
this couldn't hold my attention, and this was a movie, so
man, and this sucks because this is a second movie. We're just being all cynical. It did have a cool part. Had the cool dragon bat fight, and that was cool.
There was definite parts of it that could have been better if this wasn't a rushed cash grab of a movie.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, let's do a little plug.
Oh, yes.
You know what? If you like this show and things that are better than this show that are quite nerdy, if you are nerdy things, if you need to fulfill your nerd tanks, you need to fill those things up so you can be at full nerd. Dane, tell them where they can go.
You're going to go to Project Nerd. You're going to go to projectnerd.com, project-nerd. You'll be able to fill those nerd tanks all the way to the top. I was running on E a little bit ago, and you know where I went? Project Nerd.
Where'd you go?
I went to Project Nerd. You know, back up to the tippy top. Boom.
And he's on his A game. He's full capacity nerd. And if that's what you need in your life, and you do need it in your life, get the fuck over to that site already.
If you're already watching us, then you do need it in your life.
Yeah.
I mean,
go
up in that corner right there.
Go get it. That's the thing.
That right there, right over there. There it is. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm so aggressive to you right now. Get over to Project Nerd.
You go, just do it.
Should we rate this mofo?
Yep.
We did our plug.
It's you
Let's
first.
rate it. Okay. Oh man. This is a hard season because, like, I know we're always like, don't be buttholes when you watch a movie, but I am a butthole to this movie. It's just an obvious cash grab of the time of like trying to ride the coattails and success of like Lord of the Rings and other like young adult novels. It's way too fucking fast, way too fucking boring. The only cool parts are the cool magic parts with the shade guy. I still don't remember this movie, and I just watched it. God, it's a fucking rough movie. I'm gonna give this movie a 2, only because you have 1 point for Jeremy Irons, 1 point for John Malkovich. 2.5, and then for the dragon, because the dragon was pretty cool and looked good. Yeah. So 2.5 Malkovich Irons out of 10. That's my lowest score, and I'm sorry, Eragon.
What did I make you watch?
It's just like, it's just, you know.
Yeah. I was hoping that maybe the reason I hated it so much was because I was in high school. But my feeling about it still stands. I want to just turn it off because it's boring. It's just a boring movie, and it sucks because, like Dylan said, there's some cool magic stuff, but it happens twice, you know, in the whole entire movie. And the movie is almost 2 hours long, and like it's boring, and there's a lot of I guess some missed opportunity. I don't know if the main Eragon character, if it was a different actor, if it would have been better. I don't think so, because I think it was partially the pacing of this movie. It's all over the place. They throw things at you, and scenes jump into each other. The transitions are weird, and the ending, in my opinion, is just stupid. So like again, I'm copying your score because that's how awful this was, and I feel bad that Jeremy Irons and Malkovich even had to be in this, because again, it was a cash grab, and it's a bummer because who knows, the books might actually be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So bummer for this. I mean, I guess the only way, maybe a reboot. I mean, if really anybody cared, but I mean, when was the last time you heard someone go like, "Hey, did you read those Aragon books? They're pretty
Yeah.
good."
Trust me, you're gonna love them.
tried-
Allegedly, there is a series coming out. I think it's probably Netflix or some shit, which
Disney
might be work
Channel.
better as a series, or a Disney show. Like
It's
it
the-
might work better as a series. I don't know. I honestly don't care because
Yeah.
this didn't grab me, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, maybe the show will grab me.
Yeah, maybe I could
Maybe
watch
it's just
the boring series instead of the boring
Yeah.
movie.
like it's just this. Maybe it's just the story that I couldn't wrap my head around.
Well,
you
we wrapped
know?
our head around it. It was a ripoff
Yeah.
of Star Wars.
And like, just I think my problem is why the fuck do the dragons need writers? That doesn't make sense to me. And I think that's why I couldn't believe anything in this movie of like, why do we need this kid? Why is this kid the savior
Yeah,
if we don't actually need him?
yeah.
We should
the
all just
dragons.
be protecting the dragon.
Because
She's the chosen
basically what ends up being is like the humans are pieces of shit controlling dragons, and they're
Mhm.
using them to just be pieces of shit to each other.
I feel like if anything, this should have been a lesson about like being humane to animals and to like the earth of like, oh man,
Just
you treat
not
stuff like
being-
shit,
Just not
it's
being
gonna get
shitty to
fucking
each
murdered,
other.
man.
You
Yeah.
know?
It's just it had potential. I'm sure the books are beloved by fans out there, but
Hey,
it was just rushed. It was obviously not a passion project for some of the people involved, and it shows. So,
leave us comments. Leave us comments about like maybe the book's better. Maybe there's something we missed in the movie. Maybe there's some
Yeah.
sort of like
please tell
I'm
me.
open. I'm open to stuff. I'm open
Yeah.
to hear more about it. Tell us
So-
that please just say the books were better.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking. And just tell me how it ends, because I just
Yeah, because now I'm
I'm
curious.
not super emotionally invested, but I'm invested enough to be like, oh, does Jeremy Irons come back?
Yeah.
What happens to Malkovich?
Yeah. Does he like come out and fly around on the dragon? Like, does
Is
that
there a
guy,
cool
is that
dragon
character?
fight? Yeah,
Like, I bet you there's a dragon fight.
There's
I bet
gotta
you
be.
there's gotta be.
yeah. Maybe there's a third dragon we don't know about.
Could be. There could be. Maybe that one kid ends up getting a dragon too, because his dad. Does he turn evil? Does he become a bad guy? Who knows?
I don't
You
know.
can't
We'll
tell us
never know.
unless you tell us in the comments.
Yeah.
All you big Aragon fans out there.
I know. So it's just like I feel bad saying don't shit on movies, and here we are shitting on a movie, but this is our job, folks. This is what we fucking do. So we're not gonna love every movie. That's the whole point of this season, is to find out if we love the movies we hated.
Or if we were actually just being assholes.
Yeah. So
far, no.
1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough of us shitting on this movie. Yeah.
Join us again next
Join
week.
us next week. For 2 guys, 1 film. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Dane.
Till next week.
Bye.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I never do.
I don't
never
either.
do.